at the other end of our high street is a place called Kitty's Launderette, and we're very lucky to have Grace from Kitty's Launderette today, who's going to tell us a little bit about the project and a little bit of the story. So over to you, Grace. Welcome.
Hello. I'm a little bit concerned about my internet, so let me know if that's sort of seems like it's not working as well as it would do. So Britt, you asked me to give you a little tour of the laundrette. Would it be helpful to just introduce it a bit first and then do a tour?
That'd be great.
Yeah. So I'm speaking here from Kitty's Launderette, which is in the Anfield, Everton area of Liverpool, and we are a community laundrette and social space, and we offer a variety of affordable laundry services to the local community as well as other local businesses, and as well as sort of utilising the sort of warm, cosy interior of the laundrette as a space for activities and events. So pre-COVID, we've hosted lots of different things in the laundrette, like coffee mornings and film nights and language clubs, and anything we can sort of squeeze into the laundrette, we're definitely up for giving it a go. But obviously, unfortunately, due to COVID, a lot of those stuff is on pause for the time being. However, we have remained open throughout because back in April, we were put on the government list of essential, laundrettes were on the government list of essential services. So we were able to stay open. However, we've had to kind of change the way that we're working. And so we just do everything on like a drop off and collection basis at the moment. So sadly, we can't have people sat in the laundrette having cups of tea and socialising, but we're looking forward to when that can happen again. Maybe it's worth going for, I'm not sure, bear with me, I'm not sure how this is completely going to work. So just if I put myself on speaker view, and then, so I'll just go outside and show you from there. It's a lovely day in Liverpool. Okay, so this is, oh, it's the other way around, yeah. This is the laundrette building. We're at the end of a dead end little cul-de-sac, and opposite us is that's the street that I'm gonna get run over by a car. It's just quite a dense residential area with terrace houses, and just there on the corner is a handyman shop, which has existed, I think, for about 50 years or so in the area. And there's a lovely little pub, I don't know if you can see, just on the corner there. So it is a kind of dense residential area, but there's also like a cluster of lots of little nice local businesses that have been here for a while. And then, I mean, I can't really see, but basically just over there is Liverpool Football Club. You can sometimes see the top of the stadium, and then just down the road, sort of five minutes walk down the road, you've got Homebaked. So we've got fabulous neighbours, and Homebaked definitely been a big part of the kind of genesis, getting the laundrette off the ground. I'm just going to have to wait to go inside because the customers just arrived, so bear with me. What else is there? I guess maybe it's worth saying that I'll put a more nice looking background. I guess it's worth saying that we sort of did all the renovations of the laundrette space ourselves. It previously was a builder's yard, so it was a very different looking building. we had to kind of make all the doors and windows and lay a new floor and install all the power and make it fire safe and all these kinds of things. So I think you can definitely see quite a lot of like creativity and stuff in the way that we built the space, and you know, just anything from where are we now? Just anything from like sort of the decorative features on the windows, and now we can go inside. There we go. So okay, so this is the laundrette when you first come into it. You can see that, I'll try to get the light right there. This is Louis. Hello. And then we've got Bryn over there. So yeah, I can't quite get the light right, but why is that so dark now? So basically we've got, oh that's better, we've got like a bank of washing machines and dryers down one side, and then where my head is, there's a seating area, comfy seats and tables, and so in normal times that's where we have people sitting around having chats, having cups of tea. We sell a lot of ecological laundry products at really affordable prices, almost at cost price. And that's our washing line of lost socks to be reunited with people. And yeah, we do hanging on the walls, you can see some things to do with like a heritage project that we have, which is like people sharing memories of the old wash houses and laundrettes, and collecting the old photos and stuff like that. At the moment we've got quite a lot of washing around because everything's drop off and collection, so this stuff's all kind of waiting to be collected. And then we've got a fully disabled access toilet there, and the space is level access, and that was really important for us. And then we've got this, which is like our kind of ironing area, but also we designed it so that it would double up as a nice bar. So when we have events, we kind of clear all that stuff away and we turn it into the place that we serve tea and cake and the occasional beer. So it's really nice. And behind that door, it's not really worth showing you now, but we are currently in the process of renovating the room behind the laundrette, behind this main space, in order to expand and purchase new equipment and be able to kind of increase the work that we're doing. So it's really dusty in there at the moment, and that's that work hopefully will be done by the summertime. Okay, so I'm going to try to, you might need to help me, Britt, to remember. It's quite difficult to do the tour and think about the questions that you asked me.
So people I think people in the chat are really enjoying the tour, and somebody was asking how it is funded. So I wonder if you want to talk a little bit about how this came to pass, and maybe also about how it might become self-sufficient soon.
Yeah, sure. So so it's kind of, yeah, it's important, I guess, for us that we did literally just start off with an idea. We were sort of thinking about the question of what kinds of spaces in the neighbourhood are really accessible, really welcoming, that meet basic needs. And we were thinking about the laundrette as a space that, you know, pretty much everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows that it's the kind of space that they could enter into and like know how to engage with that space. An important part of our context is some members of our team came to England as refugees and asylum seekers, and also migrants, as well as Liverpool natives and people from other parts of England. So I guess we were also thinking about the way that like community centres can be really amazing assets, but maybe a bit of a question about if you were someone from another country and you saw a community centre or even another city, if you saw a community centre, would you necessarily feel that that was a space that you could enter? Because do you feel like you are that community, or does it take a long time for you to become part of that community? And through a lot of the research that we did, we found that some of the predominant users of laundrettes are people on low income, single people, single men, actually older single men, but also migrants, particularly women, people who have language barriers, people who are new to a place. And so we really thought that making a space that was super accessible to everybody in our community. And I guess the way that we think about it is that, like, everybody needs to do their laundry, and we offer a variety of laundry services. We do some free stuff, we do some really cheap stuff, but we also do some premium stuff. We do like eco dry cleaning and stuff like that. So I guess we hope that at some point, pretty much everyone in our community might come through our doors at some point. And that's like an asset to us as an organization. So we started off with an idea, and we started to talk to people about it. And we already had some quite good connections in the area, but we definitely spent, through organizations like Homebaked and kind of working with them and seeing what they'd been doing. But we just started talking to everybody that would listen about this idea for a laundrette, and kind of thinking that maybe along the way, we'd find out why we couldn't do it. And there were certainly lots of times where it felt really hard, and like, there was a question of, could we do it? But we also met so many people who were like, this is great, we'll support you, like long-standing residents, councillors, people involved with other projects, who were just like, yes, this is really great, go for it. And so we just kind of had to keep going, really. And we started off by securing some small development grants to kind of develop the idea, and that helped us pay for stuff to get our market, get our a logo, and think about our social media, and start to make posters and flyers, and we were hosting some events, and the heritage stuff that I mentioned was one of the ways that we kind of engaged with the history of laundrettes and wash houses, but also used that as a way to talk about, and what could a laundrette look like if it was to start in our community now. Then we decided to do a crowdfunder, and we commissioned a local animator to make this beautiful animation of what the laundrette could look like, and it really kind of captured that sort of sense of imagining and kind of creativity and bringing something to life. And I think that was a massive asset to people kind of coming forward and supporting the project. And we also commissioned more local artists to make kind of laundry themed rewards. So we had bars of soap and wash bags and all these kinds of things. And we got loads of amazing support from across the city and in the local area, and across the country as well. And a bit like Nudge, we were a bit ambitious with thinking, I think we were asked for something like 13,000, and actually we know now that wouldn't have gone very far. But what it did do was it generated a lot of interest and support around the idea, and kind of brought it to life a bit, and kind of made it a bit of a real thing before we even had a laundrette. And it also helped other funders to put faith in the idea, and to help us demonstrate that there was community buy-in and there was support for the idea. So on the back of the crowdfunder, we did get some larger grants in order to buy our washing machines and do all the kind of necessary stuff to get the space up and running. So I guess I always like to think that everybody who pledged to the crowdfunder, they pledged, and then they times it by 5 or whatever, so I think it was a great thing. And so now, so we opened properly trading in May 2019, and so this upcoming May will be our second birthday of running the laundrette. And definitely it's been challenging. We've actually spent longer trading as a business in COVID than we have as a business before COVID, so that was a bit of a curveball. but I feel like the team has navigated that really well. You know, we've really tried to support each other. We furloughed anyone who needed to be furloughed for childcare or shielding or anything. But we've also managed to keep open throughout and continue to offer services for people that we know don't have access to any alternative washing and drying facilities in the area. But we also managed to secure some grants in order to offer free washing and drying services for people who maybe their needs had changed or they were impacted by COVID. So we were washing lots of scrubs in the initial days for these volunteer scrub making initiatives. We've also been, since last April, we've been running a twice weekly laundry collection collection and drop off service for people who are shielding. And so we have, like, you know, phone calls with these people once a week and run the service the whole way through the year. And that for us has been really important, because I think in the very beginning of COVID, we had a big question mark about how are we still a community laundrette if we can't have the community coming in the laundrette. But I think, you know, doing the delivery service and reaching out and working with a lot of local organisations in partnership and things, and just even having these phone calls every week to people who aren't really speaking to maybe many other people in the week, and they're definitely not seeing anyone. And just so nice every time they're like, I can't wait till Corona's over and we can come and have a cup of tea and meet you, because we spoke on the phone every week for the last year. And so I think, you know, that's been great for you know, what we could do for the community and really sort of like show this is really what we're about. And I think it's been good for the team's morale as well. I think we all would have struggled a lot more to kind of keep going without that kind of contact and engagement with people in the neighbourhood, because that is actually why we set this up. So it would have been a tough year kind of without that. Yeah, I've actually forgot what your question was, Britt.
That's okay, Grace. Do you want me to throw in some questions that people have in the chat?
Yeah, please.
So Rebecca asks, how does the governance work? Do you have a small group with decision-making authority, or are decisions made by a larger group?
Yeah, so we are constituted. We're actually constituted as a company limited by guarantee, but our rules and articles state that we are a worker community cooperative. So we wanted to reflect the fact that, you know, workers, people who work in a place ultimately have a huge buy-in and a huge, you know, it plays the largest role in their life than it does in anyone else's. But ultimately we exist to benefit our community, so we wanted to kind of hold those two things in balance. So that's the worker community structure. We currently have a team of 7 employees who make up the workers, and we also have a voluntary board of 6 people, and 2 of that voluntary board are also workers. So we have workers represented on the board, and then the rest of the board is made up of people from the local community who are you know, working for the success of this community business. And beyond that, we do also have a kind of membership, which is made up of all the workers, but also customers and people from the local community, and they come together at members events and at the AGM, and the members elect the voluntary board, and they elect them out of both the community members and the workers. So we have some rotation as well. And I guess, so on a practical sense, I think, you know, one of the amazing things about the kind of governance structure that we've put a lot of care into developing is that the board, I guess, ultimately has kind of legal sort of responsibilities, but the board also puts a lot of trust in the workers to know what's going on a day-to-day basis in the laundrette, and the board takes its lead from what the workers think and want, because they are on the ground there. And then the board just gives like support and oversight and helps with, you know, maybe some of the stuff that, you know, we need, you know, some advice on, because we've got some really, you know, knowledgeable and skilled people on the board. So obviously we want to draw on that, but we also don't want to be led by the board, because yeah. And so I feel that's been like a really really good way of working, and I think we'll probably continue in that way.
Great. And I think you answered most of the other question. I was wondering, people might ask themselves, you know, people ask how you're funded, and I think you answered some of that, but it might maybe be interesting for people to hear about prognosis, about being self-sufficient.
Yeah, I remember I got distracted and forgot about that bit. Our goal is to build a business that is maybe 80% sort of self-funded through trading income generated through all of our laundry services and kind of the public spending money with us, as well as other businesses and partnerships. And we think that the other 20% will maybe come from grants that we secure in order to deliver certain special projects or programs. So for example, the Heritage Project, or we've got another one which is around like workshops to do with recycling or different sorts of things, you know, that that they kind of fund themselves, but they add to the kind of overall financial makeup of the organization. Currently, we're at about 50% traded income and 50% grants in our second year, and we were about 30% in our first year. So things are going in the right direction, and I think we all feel really optimistic that we will get to where we want to go, especially now that we're expanding into the back room and we're purchasing some more equipment, which allows us to take on larger contracts. And I think because we're a social enterprise and because we offer social value for every pound that's spent with us, this year we did actually have a independent social value assessment made on the laundry for the next 3 years, and they feel that for every pound spent with the laundrette, we will turn that into £7 something of social value. So, you know, that's great. If you're a local business and you think, well, I've got to spend, you know, £1,000 a year or whatever on my laundry services, might as well spend it with those guys, and then they'll turn it into, you know, 6 extra pounds of great stuff happening in the area. And whether that's things like the events and activities that we do to combat social isolation and build relationships in the neighbourhood, or whether it's in the kind of we pay the real living wage, and we create you know, flexible jobs where people are valued, and there's a lot of focus on personal professional development and training and upskilling. And because we're a cooperative and the team make the decisions about what we're doing, you know, it certainly isn't just doing the laundry. There's a lot of aspects to the job which make it a challenging but fulfilling role, and we specifically offer that to people who live in walking distance from the laundrette. And we work a good number of the people that work at the laundrette were previously long-term unemployed, and that could be to do with just things like caring responsibilities and not being able to find work that fits around those things. So that's all the kind of parts. Oh yeah, and the environmental side as well. All of our machines are electric and they all run on renewable energy, and all of our detergents are ecological, all our bags are biodegradable. So also, you know, whether you're interested in good jobs or you're interested in the environment or you're interested in kind of neighborhood building, there's a lot of reasons to spend your money with us, and that is hopefully it's certainly been the case so far. That's why people choose to come and do the laundry with us, and we really hope that that's going to kind of continue in that way, and that we'll kind of get to where we want to be in the next couple of years around being a sort of self-sustaining social business. And also, I guess it's about showing how business can be done as well. You know, if we can be successful, it's also hopefully encourages other people to think that, like, you know, business isn't about treating people rubbish and, you know, being in competition with each other. It's actually about collaboration and respect and fairness, and so, you know, that's our kind of mission.
Perfect. Grace, thank you very much. I'm one of those people that is very excited to get back in for a cup of tea into Kitty's and say hello to everyone.